This month on North Central Outdoors, we find out what the 3Ds are. If you don't know what I'm talking about, TWRA Officer Jim Dooley will explain.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the December edition of North Central Outdoors. I'm your host Jim Dooley, and as you can see, it's starting to look a little bit like Christmas. The weather's turned colder, and I'm not Rudolph. It's cold out, a little chilly outside. You may see my red nose, but anyway, on this segment, I'd like to talk about three things, or cover three things with you. First being deer, the second being dogs, and the third being ducks. So let's get started. First, deer. As everyone knows, our deer season is well underway, and it'll run through about the first week of January. And this is the time when most people have already, they've already killed their buck, or maybe their second buck here in Tennessee, and they're going to go out and they're going to try to put some meat in the freezer. Going to try to kill some antlerless deer, and that's what we need. Ideally, we have these later seasons where we harvest does, where we can control the population, get the populations down. There is this common idea within deer management that the closer you get the buck-doe ratios, the closer you get to 1-to-1, the better overall health of the herd and better the quality of bucks are. Everything's healthier when there's more than enough to go around. So during this time, people go out and they harvest antlerless deer. Just some things that you may want to keep in mind before you go. You have to maintain, you got to wear that blaze orange when you're going hunting. Remember that. You got to be on your head and on the upper portion of your body, 500 square inches. And if you're going to harvest does in Macon County or any other county within this Unit L area, you need to make sure that you've got a Type 94 permit. I get lots of calls, questions from older people that have a senior citizen's license, or people that maybe they're taking their child that's less than 13 out for the first time, and they ask questions about the license requirements. If you're going to harvest any kind of doe, any kind of antlerless deer during this time of year, during the rifle season, you need to make sure that you have a Type 94 permit. Even those senior citizens that have a senior citizen's license, they're required to get the Type 94. Underage hunters are required to get the Type 94. So make sure you do that. And in Macon County, you can kill up to 3 antlerless deer a day. Also, new this year with the deer regulations, any kind of antler, any kind of hard antler that goes through the hair, that's visible above the hairline, is considered this year a buck. So if you're looking out in that soybean field or that wheat field, during this latter season, and you see these deer that don't have any visible antlers above the hair or above the ears, look really, really close, because you do not want to have a situation where you shoot deer and then you get up there and there's antlers above the hairline. Be very, very careful, because those are called antler deer this year. Be careful. Just look at them. If you've not killed any bucks, then you've got a little bit of leeway, but if you've already killed your bucks for the deer season, you may need to be a little bit more careful than usual. But anyway, also in addition, make sure that you get your permission and get all your proper licenses and that Type 94, and hopefully you'll be able to put some meat in the freezer for this winter. Next segment, we're going to have my first guest and talk about dogs. So I'll see you back in just a few minutes. Hello and welcome back. We're going to have our first guest of this North Central Outdoors programming, and his name is Doc. Sit down, Doc. Doc is my squirrel dog, and this time of year it's a wonderful time for people that have dogs, whether they're squirrel dogs or bird dogs or rabbit dogs or even coonhounds. Whatever your dog persuasion may be, it's always a good time to be out in the field with them and participate. It's also a wonderful time to be outside with your dog and have young hunters. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. I've had Doc for going on 10 years now, and I remember as I was raising my children, how we would go out this time of year and squirrel hunt, and it's a wonderful time. My boys and even my girls didn't have to be so overly quiet. They could walk around and we could talk and we could eat and listen to the dog bark, and they could shoot the .22 and maybe get a squirrel or two. And we had a wonderful time. So it's a wonderful time to pass on the hunting heritage that we all have and hold so dear. So whether you're a squirrel hunter like I am, or a rabbit hunter, or a coon hunter, or even a duck hunter with a water type dog, it's a wonderful time of the year to be out and to participate in the outdoors. Keep in mind, if you're participating in the hunt, if you're required by your age to have a license and you're participating in the hunt, irregardless of whether you physically carry a gun, if you're out with a group and you're on a hunt, let's say you're coon hunting, raccoon hunting, or you're with a bunch of people rabbit hunting, or with a group of people squirrel hunting or whatever, you need to make sure that you have your license, because training is a type of hunting here in Tennessee. You need to have your license. Always make sure that you have permission and make sure that you really utilize those safe hunting practices that we kind of preach about every month. Always make sure you're muzzled and pointed in a safe direction, and treat every gun like it's loaded, because when you get in a situation where you have a number of people in close proximity, it has a tendency has the potential to be dangerous, so you need to be careful. Well, the next segment and our last segment for this month will be on ducks. So I think my guest has had about all he can stand. But anyway, we'll see you back in just a few minutes and talk about some ducks. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. Our last segment this month is going to be regarding ducks and waterfowl. As you can see, I'm kind of dressed up in a waterfowl camouflage jacket and some waders, and I got my shotgun. Waterfowl season is big in Tennessee, and we have lots of opportunities. Just from a weather standpoint, our weather is fixing to get a lot colder, and invariably when we have cold weather, that has a tendency to push migratory birds south. So people that do duck hunt, waterfowl hunt, are probably going to see some increased numbers in the next week or 10 days. So it's a good time to get out. There are some things though that you need to keep in mind if you do choose to waterfowl hunt this season. Waterfowl hunting, you need to have all your licenses, your Type 01 and a waterfowl license, a waterfowl permit. You got to have a federal duck stamp, migratory bird permit. It's probably a good idea if you're a first-time hunter that you have somebody kind of coach you on what to do and licenses that you need. You can always look online at our waterfowl regulations, or you can stop by Walmart and get a copy of the regulations there. But it's different if you've deer hunted or if you've small game hunted up to this point and now you want a duck hunt or a waterfowl hunt. You're going to have to buy some more licenses. You're going to have to, like I say, get a federal duck stamp, a migratory bird permit, a waterfowl license. You're going to have some additional things. Make sure that when you buy your federal duck stamp that you sign the back of it. But also, there are some safety concerns that you need to keep in mind if you waterfowl hunt ducks or geese this winter. If you wear a pair of chest waders and you get in a boat going to your blind, you need to always make sure from a safety standpoint that you have a belt that closes off the top of your chest waders. Otherwise, if you happen to fall out of your boat or your boat sink, you may have a problem with water getting in it and taking you down. But if you put a belt around it or something to close off the top of your waders, it provides flotation for you. As always, when you're in a boat, Always wear your life jacket when you go. When you're in a boat, don't put it under all your decoys and all your guns and all your food and camp stoves. Make sure that you have your life jacket preferably on you over your hunting clothes. You may have to get a bigger size life jacket, but wear it when you're in a boat this time of year. If you fall in the water, you won't last very long due to the fact of hypothermia. It's a killer. It's one of the biggest killers of people that go outside. So bundle up nice and warm, wear your waders, put a belt around the top of them, wear your life jacket to fit, make sure that you have it on when you're in a boat, get your licenses. The duck season that runs till about the last part of January, and the limit is 6 ducks a day. Only 4 can be mallards, and only 2 of those mallards can be Susies or females. So also, like I say, the waterfowl season includes Canada geese, so make sure that you take advantage of that. You can kill 3 a day here in this during this statewide hunt in Middle Tennessee. So always use your safe gun handling techniques that you were taught and that you know. Practice them as you hunt this fall and winter. And remember, hunting respectfully and safely is no accident. And from all of us with TWRA and North Central, we'd like to wish all of you and yours a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.